In the early 1970s, a nursing student named Donna received a vintage Raggedy Ann doll as a gift from her mother. Shortly after, Donna and her roommate Angie began noticing strange things happening with the doll. It seemed to move on its own, often changing positions or appearing in different rooms entirely. Things took a darker turn when they found handwritten notes reading, "Help us," around their apartment, and blood appeared on the doll's hands. Fearing for their safety, the girls contacted a medium who told them the spirit of a young girl named Annabelle had possessed the doll. The situation escalated when the doll attacked one of their friends, leaving claw-like marks on his body. Desperate, Donna contacted paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren, who determined that the doll was not inhabited by a child spirit, but by a malevolent entity trying to possess one of the girls. The Warrens took Annabelle to their occult museum, where she remains locked in a glass case to this day. According to the Warrens, the doll is still dangerous and responsible for several mysterious incidents, even after being secured. In 1959, 9 experienced Russian hikers set out on an expedition in the Ural Mountains. Days later, their bodies were found under mysterious circumstances. Their tent had been cut open from the inside, and the hikers had fled into the freezing wilderness without proper clothing or shoes. Their bodies were discovered at different intervals. Some of them had strange injuries: cracked skulls, broken ribs, and one woman was missing her tongue. Yet, there were no signs of struggle, and the force required for these injuries would have been immense, something akin to a car crash. Some of the hikers' clothing even had traces of radiation. To this day, no one knows what exactly happened on that cold, desolate mountainside, and theories range from military testing to paranormal events. The case was officially closed, but the mysterious compelling force that caused their deaths has never been explained. In the early 1800s, the Bell family of Tennessee experienced one of the most infamous hauntings in American history. John Bell and his family began hearing strange noises: faint knocking, chains dragging, and unexplained scratching sounds coming from within their walls. Soon, the spirit escalated its torment, physically attacking John and his daughter Betsy by slapping and pulling their hair. The entity identified itself as the Bell Witch and communicated through eerie voices, often mocking the family. It specifically targeted John, who began to weaken and fall ill as the years passed. In 1820, John Bell mysteriously died. It was said that the Bell Witch took credit for his death, and a strange vial of liquid was found near his bed. To this day, no one knows what the entity was or why it tormented the Bell family, but the legend remains a chilling part of American folklore. In 1897, Elva Zona Hester, a young woman in Greenbrier County, West Virginia, was found dead in her home under strange circumstances. Her death was initially ruled as natural causes, but her mother, Mary Jane Hester, insisted there was foul play. Mary Jane claimed that Elva's ghost had visited her in dreams, revealing that her husband, Erasmus Shue, had strangled her to death. Mary Jane went to the authorities, recounting the vivid details of her ghostly encounters. The body was exhumed, and an autopsy revealed that Elva's neck had indeed been broken. Erasmus was arrested and convicted of her murder. This case remains the only known instance in U.S. history where a ghost testimony was accepted in court. In 1974, Ronald DeFeo Jr. murdered his entire family in their home in Amityville, New York. The following year, George and Kathy Lutz moved into the house with their children, unaware of its bloody history. Almost immediately, they began to experience terrifying paranormal activity. The family reported strange smells, cold spots, and unexplained sounds. George became obsessed with the fireplace, and his personality changed drastically. Kathy claimed she levitated out of her bed, and their young daughter spoke to an imaginary friend she called Jody, a demonic pig-like figure with glowing red eyes. After just 28 days, the Lutz family fled the house, leaving everything behind. Their story became the basis for the infamous book The Amityville Horror and a series of films. While some believe the events were exaggerated, the Lutzes always maintained that something truly evil had driven them from their home.